Okay, picture this. A girl on TikTok deep cleaning roach crap for donations. An older boyfriend who somehow was able to swindle $80,000 of donated money to her. We've got this messy relationship, a girl who's just trying to move out of her presumably abusive parents' household. But what if there's more going on behind the scenes that makes this a little bit less innocent? This is Lily, Spider Lily, Khalietheflowergirl, whatever you want. The internet's most tragic, chaotic, and sometimes borderline criminal soap opera. At first, her story felt hopeful. When you donated money to her, you felt like you were really helping this girl escape this mold-infested house. People were obviously moved. They donated tens of thousands of dollars to help her escape. But then it got dark when her boyfriend kind of cashed it all and they went on this vacation together and he bought a new car. So what is this? A traumatized person who doesn't know how to properly spend money? Or a long-term scam where to this day she's still asking for money for various things? Throughout her time online, she's also claimed to have an interesting number of conditions or disorders. Vertigo, dermatillomania, I think, anxiety, depression, hypoglycemia, emetophobia, malnourishment, Tourette's, heart attack, psychosis, bipolar, tremors, panic attacks, OCD, insomnia, vision disturbances, PTSD. Some of these I really don't put it past her, like she's shown proof of emetophobia. So take that for a grain of salt, but then others like, it's not impossible to have a heart attack at age 18. But then people thought like, is this money baiting or rage baiting? Cause then she turned around and said like, oh, I didn't like have a heart attack. I basically did cause my doctor said I had symptoms of one. Buckle up because did we accidentally donate to a true crime doc? Either way, go ahead and like and subscribe and have a little support group in the comments. Okay, but hold up because real talk time. I used to stay up for hours on purpose because I dreaded lying in bed for hours, exhausted, but completely awake. And then you wake up and you feel like you've actually been hit by a truck. But I started using Dream by Beam, and I'm not kidding when I tell you it changed everything. Dream is a nighttime drink made from all natural ingredients, like melatonin, magnesium, and reishi, although they do have a version without melatonin. It's gluten-free, dairy-free, has no added sugar, and it is only 15 calories. And one of the best parts is that it tastes like hot chocolate. My personal absolute favorite is the chocolate chip cookie flavor. Since I started using it, I'm falling asleep faster, I'm staying awake longer, and I wake up usually feeling refreshed rather than just wanting to go back to sleep. I feel more focused, which is very important for school and work. I'm less irritable and I just function more like a human throughout the day. And this isn't some weird powder or nighttime tea. It's a nighttime blend with clinically backed up sleep promoting ingredients that over 1.8 million people have used to improve their sleep. If you're tired of tossing and turning, try it yourself with early access to Beam's Labor Day weekend sale. Use my code MANA to get 40% off your first month for a limited time only. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description and the pinned comment. I put it there too, so it stands out.
Let's clean the bathroom. But like, just generally. Not the things that really need work because I don't have the supplies or the knowledge on how to fix certain things. And then again, I turn 18 tomorrow in 6 hours. Y'all finna be grown. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I think I already ruined it.
Callie blew up from this. She lived in an apartment with roaches, mold, and God bless, we don't know what else. But she'd film these sad, chaotic cleaning videos saying that, well, my parents aren't gonna clean up, so I might as well.
Hey motherfuckers, my name is Callie. Come clean with me. I would have done the dishes today, but I don't feel like it, so I'm not going to. Because I'm doing all this other instead.
And interestingly, this was her claim to fame. People were hooked. This was like a low-key tragic hero moment. It was very raw, unfiltered, and messy. She was a kid who clearly had it rough, but she was trying to make something out of it. We had roaches crawling across the counters, mouse droppings in random corners, mold creeping up the walls. It was devastating to watch. One time she opened up her AC unit and you could see black mold in it. Breathing that in for years, I don't even know, like it would possibly wreck your lungs, I don't know, your immune system. So it's no shock that she was always sick, which interestingly was even worse for her since she struggles with emetophobia, which is basically an intense, constant fear of throwing up. She said her emetophobia started when she was around 7. She tied it to her OCD, which medically checks out, and it made everything worse.
You guys like to ask me, since you have emetophobia, how do you not get triggered by your environment? And I'm just wondering, who the told you I don't? I have OCD, meaning I have intrusive thoughts, and my intrusive thoughts make me imagine licking a pile of dirt, licking the floors, licking the carpets, swallowing cotton, drinking trash juice.
Some people thought she might have been faking it, but it's like she kind of showed us a prescription bottle that said, Paxil, take twice a day for vomiting. Bottom line, it wasn't just her physical health going down the drain. There were rumors of her struggling with different addictions, such as weed, snacks, some other things, which when I make a part 2, I'll have to get more into like the proof of that, because it's like, so far is all the evidence we have like eye dilation. I mean, I don't know how much credibility would go into, oh, I or my, loved one used to struggle with substance use and I used to act exactly like that. Maybe she was tired. The thing is though, she coped by making music, which is honestly low-key very inspiring. Like, here's all these things that are out of her control, and she's using music to process it, like, very inspiring. But at this point, she was still under the age of 18. Therefore, she could not be paid through TikTok. So donations were the only way you could support her, and people did. Somebody bought her a brand new AC unit. At this time, nobody saw her as a scammer. She was just like our internet beloved underdog. So rewind for a second, you might be like, hey Michelle, isn't she a teenager? And correct me if I'm wrong, teenagers are in school. Fair question, and honestly, let me educate you about the lore.
When I was in 2nd grade, I developed emetophobia. Emetophobia is an extreme, irrational fear of vomiting. People who suffer with this phobia will go to extreme measures to make sure that they do not get sick. To people who do not struggle with it, you will think that it is extremely minuscule. People who don't suffer with emetophobia will vomit and then forget that they vomited and just carry on with their life. While people with emetophobia will go years without vomiting because of the extreme measures they will take to avoid it, but it will still play a huge factor in their everyday life, and for some of us, it's all we think about. Now, what's so scary about it? For me, as someone who has suffered with emetophobia for 10 years, which is the majority of my life, it is the fear of losing control of your body. It can also be a contamination fear. It usually coincides with OCD. They share a lot of the same symptoms. They complement each other. So it can be a contamination fear. Fearing the loss of control. Your body. You want to be able to control what's going on in your body, but we can't. And that is probably the scariest part. Knowing that it is something you cannot avoid. Knowing it is something you cannot run from. And whenever you lose control, you lose it. People often call me pathetic, which I am aware. And that's the thing about it. It is obviously pathetic. What you should and shouldn't do, if you know somebody with emetophobia and you want to help them, you can let them know that their fear is valid, but you shouldn't reassure them. You should never tell them that they will not be sick, because you'll now be validating them in a way that's helping their phobia continue. They will find comfort in the fact that you think they will not be sick, which is only temporarily helpful, because the day that they are, the day that it may happen, they will continue to look for that reassurance, and they may or may not get it. But it is not helpful in any way whatsoever because you do not know whether or not they will be sick, and neither do they. And that's what freaks them out. All my obsession was sickness. I would cry and I would panic, and it was already controlling my life whenever I was really young. It would get better over time, but then it would get worse as I got isolated. My emetophobia got worse in 2022. It peaked because nobody in my family was sick for nearly 3 years, and you would think that that would be validating to me, but no, it wasn't. And I was so scared of it happening to me. So then I got expelled from school.
Okay, no, that checks out, because for a lot of people, school is like the last safe thing you have left. So I don't know about like non-controlled substances and giving them away at school. However, it is a very serious offense, and pretty much every US school system has a zero tolerance policy for it. Law enforcement is often contacted. Sometimes they'll be referred to juvenile court or they'll press charges. So that checks out. I don't know about the possibility of her going to an alternative school or getting her GED, although that's none of my business. People watching all of this chaos unfold were like, hey, you know who might be needed right now? Child Protective Services, which is fair. I mean, this place is a biohazard and she was clearly being neglected. I know we can never know what's going on inside someone's life, but it's like, maybe this was like a staged scene. I doubt it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but I would tend to agree with people for calling CPS. I guess it's case by case though, because like parasocial moment. But for Lily, this was the ultimate backstab. Her vibe towards her followers changed overnight. She got so much more cold and defensive. But like, honestly, I understand her perspective. You're a teenager, you're already unstable, you're living in a house that nobody is taking care of, and now your parents know that a bunch of random people on TikTok sicked them to the state. The sad thing is, like, imagine what was happening when the cameras aren't rolling. One of the most depressing details, though, is that she was pretty much the only person cleaning the house, and she talked about this a ton. One time she showed a TikTok where she stayed with a friend for 4 days, and she came back to see the house completely trashed all over again. So we can only hope that this whole CPS situation did not make it even more uncomfortable behind the scenes. That's when she launched not one, not two, but 3 GoFundMe campaigns, and that's when donations started flooding through. The first one was supposed to help her move out when she turned 18, and that got over $800. The next was to buy a car, and there was over $10,000 donated. And the third was basically the same, help her move out and start fresh. I hate how my brain works like this, but I just imagine like The Sims and you're like a young adult and you have $0 and you're like, what do I do? They raised over $21,000, which TBH is a lot of people's yearly salary. Real money that people hoped would help her start over. And then, 95% of it went into her boyfriend Preston's bank account. Yeah, this was some guy she met on Snapchat when she was 16. And he was 21. Cue the collective internet gag reflex. Lily popped back up on TikTok like, hey, you guys, so I actually didn't know how to like set up my own bank account. Preston was the one who set it up, and actually I only ever saw $3,000 of it. The rest I really don't know. I mean, we blew it in a month. So let me get this straight. The internet handed her a ticket out and then watched as she and Preston blew it all on a vacation. But honestly, not to judge, but not judge, because I feel like the way we handle money has a lot to do low-key with our childhood. Some hoard it like out of a panic, and other people, like, you know how when celebrities, they grew up kind of not well off, and then once they start making money, they basically go bankrupt because they're not used to having money? It's messy. The brain, the psychology of people is messy, to be vague. So now the internet is split down the middle. Half are like, she's a victim, she was groomed, unstable, and too traumatized to see what's happening. And the other half was like, nah, she knows exactly what she's doing. She's obviously playing up the pity and then blames it on Preston when everything blows up. Either way, it doesn't stop there, because you thought this was a one-time disaster. Well, not even close. This kind of became Lily's brand. She would post a TikTok saying like, hey, so I can't survive another day. Fans would rush to help, and then suddenly the money is gone. Lily even admitted that she only kept tabs by like every now and then glancing at her GoFundMe total.
More in depth of what really went on. And I guess I'm gonna start, fuck, it feels so weird talking to a camera, God. I guess I'm gonna start off by saying I didn't think that I could make my own bank account, and you know who wanted to help me set up a GoFundMe. So he linked it to his bank account, So every donation that I got went straight to him in his bank account. And I didn't know how much money I had, other than whenever I'd look at the GoFundMe and actually like look at the screen and see what was on there. But other than that, I didn't know what was on, like how much money I really had. Nor can I like really grasp how much money that was. That was like a year's worth of salary. It was like someone's salary. Like that was a shit ton of money. But to sum it up and be a little bitch, I'm gonna say this motherfucker got mad at his dad. So he came to Tennessee. I was 17, he was 22. Of course, whenever he came, I wanted to see him for longer. He was booking places for $600 a week. I never booked a single place, but I also never had access to my money. And I am not trying to take away accountability in this situation, because I know I should be held accountable, and I am more sorry than anything to everyone and anyone who felt like they had to donate to me. And I don't want to be a, but I will lose them either way no matter what I say, because I cannot tell the truth. But apparently I'm manipulative and I'm a liar, and that shit really gets to my head. Either way, man. Yeah, we blew like $18,000 in a month. And I didn't even get to see it all go away.
So yeah, that's Lily. Actually, that's the tip of the iceberg. When followers realized how much cash was magically vanishing, no, they were pissed. They were demanding answers, and instead of explanations, they did get deleted comments or blocked. Which, maybe I'm being naive here, but if there were like non-negative intentions here, wouldn't she just reply to the comment and be like, no, I'm actually just really bad with money. I could be so off. Maybe though, it was Preston who apparently controlled a lot of her accounts. And then it gets truly messed up because a leaked audio came out of her and Preston talking.
What the minor says does not matter.
Okay, but listen, if the police were ever involved, I'm saying silent. Like, I can tell them really whatever, but there's no proof.
Except there's a little bit. Except there is a little bit.
And you think nobody gives a
Sure, nobody gives a fuck, but there are some things that you would probably want to delete if they did get, a search warrant for your phone. Anyway. Yeah, if they had a search warrant for your phone, you'd want to, delete some stuff. Because that would be considered CP because it's minor.
Yeah, I'm correct, so.
I really hope so. The Snapchat ain't so protective.
Well, there's nobody's gonna do shit about that.
Yeah, but Preston, after I turn 18, that needs to be gone anyway.
What needs to be gone?
Some videos that you and I took that you might want to delete. That you took of me that you might want to delete. Because I was 17 in those recordings, meaning that can be considered CP, and you don't want to get charged with that. You really don't.
Listen, nobody's gonna be doing shit about that.
Okay, but you might want to just to be safe, Preston, you don't know how far people can take it. And if you were to just completely get uninvolved with me, that doesn't even matter at that point. That's still stuff that needs to be off of your phone.
It doesn't even matter if you're removed, they can still pull it back.
Her voice was literally shaking, and God bless the things she was telling him. Preston didn't even flinch, but the funny thing, this isn't funny at all actually, but she was live streaming this. This is how this got recorded. Was this proof that she was groomed? Was this a way to trap him? Like, what is going on? What we can, however, conclude from that live is that things were darker than we probably thought. It all starts with Rambo, the family dog. He was basically like the side character in all her TikToks. So people felt like they knew this dog, and then suddenly, Rambo gets sick. He was throwing up, losing weight, and honestly, this is very upsetting to talk about because it's a possibility that he ate mouse poison. So instead of rushing him to the vet, Lily hopped on TikTok for advice. And by the time she and Preston finally took him into the vet, it was too late and he needed to be put down. But the thing is, Lily had made a GoFundMe to help the dog get like this surgery that he needed. And fans noticed that Lily kept the donation post up even after the dog was gone. And I do have a question for you guys, like, if people don't spend the money on GoFundMe the way they said they would they like get in trouble? Like, isn't that like unlawful? Because she was still collecting money from people who thought they were saving him. So when she called out, Lily was like, oh no, what money? That money? That money's sitting in my savings. She had previously said it would cost thousands of dollars a night to keep Rambo alive. And even though the dog had been put down, people were still donating anyway. I mean, she did apologize, but by then people were like, this isn't seeming so much like grief as it is a cash grab.
So what happened to those donations after he was already put down?
After he was put down?
Yeah, and you kept getting donation because the post data.
I think that's just in my savings now. I hope y'all know that I wasn't donated that money before. I wasn't donated that money before he was put down. I was donated that money.
Also donated money before because you had that post up before and after.
You said people donated after.
Both.
A lot of the donations were, I posted an update after he was put down because I couldn't afford the thousands and thousands of dollars it was going to cost to save his life. Because it would have costed thousands of dollars to save his life.
You had $3,000 at the time though.
I did, and it would have costed more than that because it was $1,000 a night at the vet.
And then you also got donations and continued to get them after he was put down because you didn't tell them until way later that he was put down.
I told them right whenever he was being put down. I posted it the same day.
I remember you posting that.
I posted it the same day. I posted it minutes after. I was saying that I didn't know what to do. I didn't tell, and I wasn't like there, and I was like, oh my God, donate to me. I was saying I don't know what to do or how I'm going to be able to afford it. From my memory, I wasn't asking for donations. People sent the donations. I said I don't know how I'll be able to afford it because this is all I have left. And what happened was...
Not update TikTok.
What?
You did not update TikTok.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. I was only on Instagram, and
Yeah, but you did still have the donation post up on TikTok.
Yeah.
You did not update on TikTok.
All right. Well...
And then, of course, came the house fire. I mean, this is like, you know in the movies when there's like an entire house burned down. In 2024, Lily's entire family house burned down in an electrical fire that apparently started in the attic. The entire house was condemned and they lost everything, including her pet lizard. Or lizards plural, excuse me. I don't know, there's just something so sad about thinking about animals like in that situation. This weirdly could have been her redemption arc, like this devastating loss could have brought everyone together. But I mean, this is Lily we're talking about here, someone who turns chaos into content and sympathy into donations. So of course another GoFundMe popped up, and this time it raised $60,000. At first, Lily claimed, like, this money's gonna go directly to my dad. But then later, she admitted that she was the one who was withdrawing it and sending it on, which is like, okay, fair. Until you factor that even some of her family members were saying that the withdrawals were, like, weird and inconsistent. Then Lily's dad's girlfriend ended up making a GoFundMe to raise money, and Lily was like, do not donate to that GoFundMe because she's shady. So you've got two rival family members, money is flying around everywhere, and nobody is sure who's actually seeing it. And unfortunately, during this time, Lily's relationship with her family imploded publicly, which is sad. I mean, Reddit's torn about this. They're like, well, maybe Lily's family is coming forward to hold her accountable. And other people are like, maybe this shouldn't be like public, you know, family drama. At this point, even Lily's diehard supporters were wondering like, am I being played right now? So people found out Lily now owns this car, which I mean, great, you know, we raised money and you bought the car that you wanted to buy. So this car ended up appearing in some of Lily's TikToks and lives, and people are like, oh my gosh, great, my donation went to somewhere positive. But then people found out, and this makes me so angry, the car was not in her name, it was in Preston's. Legally, it was his. Lily had probably never driven it, because she doesn't have a license. Which is honestly like, bruh, if you're gonna scam people, use your own face. You know what I mean? It's like, why would she be asking for a car in the first place if she doesn't have a license? It's giving manipulated by Preston. And of course the internet's pissed. They're like, hey, did I just pay for some random person's car? Just when you thought things couldn't get worse, after her childhood home burned down, she ended up in a 72-hour psychiatric hold. After getting out, she started streaming on TikTok way more often, which checks out because streaming equals donations. And things got very suspicious because Preston was whispering to her, like in the background, coaching her on what to say. It was like she couldn't even tell her own story without this guy feeding her lines. Eventually, she started going live when Preston was asleep because, this is the only time she wouldn't be puppeteered. I mean, to me, it's like something's not right here. This pretty much says it all. Then for like 5 minutes, it actually seemed like she might turn her life around. She got a job cleaning Airbnbs, which given her hyper focus of like scrubbing filth out of her life is kind of poetic. Her boss and coworkers were kind of saints. I mean, they fed her, they bought her new clothes, and even offered her a place to stay so she didn't have to live in like a dingy hotel room with her boyfriend. But instead of grabbing onto this outstretched hand, C decided to go live on TikTok and vent about her entire nightmare life. She basically trauma dumped hard on her boss and on TikTok simultaneously at the same time, and if you could guess, that didn't end well. Her coworker and even her boss later posted videos explaining why they had to let her go, which is honestly sad because what I'm looking at is someone who, I don't know her life. Maybe she has not seen stability before, so it might be something we are unconsciously afraid of at this point. You know what I mean? Like if someone grows up with a chaotic life and then they get into a relationship in adulthood, they might feel like a little bit uneasy when it's like an actual healthy relationship. But hey, not everything is a train wreck because C posted this TikTok on January 22nd.
But I did open a new bank account today with my coworker who's trying to save me.
Finally, the day has come. Preston cannot funnel this money straight into his own bank account. Side note, but iconic of her coworker to literally drag her to the bank and be like, no, we're opening your own bank account today. Then our timeline does such a goofy, quirky little detour in what Reddit people call Scootergate. Or I'm sorry, I'm calling it that. It's the scooter incident, Scootergate. By then, C was still shacked up with Preston in a hotel room, making cleaning videos, when viewers started noticing what looked like an injury on her hands. And naturally, they were like, I think Preston has something to do with this. But C actually went live from the hospital and explained, no, you guys, I fell. She cracked her head. There were no charges, and she was discharged.
No, sir.
Okay, you're just not willing to do that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm for everything.
All right, it says, I am a victim of domestic violence and affirm that this information is correct. Let's see where that is at. What's the instructions? Entry says, possible minor loss to victim was. I intend to press charges or to prosecute. I'm going to check no, okay? Because no is what you said. What is today's date?
31st.
1/31/25. Okay. I check no. I need your signature and then print your name legibly there. Or I mean signature here, print it legibly here, okay?
Yeah, I just don't want to. I just don't want to call myself a victim. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it's look. It's not being a victim or an offender is not what the point is. The point is that you are living a lifestyle that is hard.
I know.
Not easy. It's hard. It's hard on you. It's hurting you. Okay? And sometimes people get in this rut with other people in their life that they care about and they can't hardly get out of it. Okay? And you need to be able to get out of it. Okay? So that doesn't make you a victim. You're not pulling, like some people call it, the victim card. Okay? You're not doing that. All right? When I walked in here, did you start telling me, oh, he twisted my hand, he hurt me, he done this? You didn't say none of that, did you? No, I seen that. Okay? And the rest of the world can see whenever you're struggling and being hurt as well. Okay? You're just going to have to step back and realize that we can see it. We just want you to be able to do something to get help for yourself, okay?
And then, of course, she went straight back. She scootered on back to the same hotel room with Preston. I mean, at this point, everything is just tragically not okay. On January 30th, it seemed like we could all exhale now because C and Preston broke up. No, actually, it was not, unfortunately, that cut and dry. It was actually quite the train wreck.
Got y'all digitally. Nothing physically. What's going on? I just got locked out of my own room. And I can't get the keys to the car to sit down and be alone.
From the outside, people are like, hey, so what you might be experiencing is manipulation and trauma bonding. But like when you're in that situation, it can be so much harder to see. To put it in plain English, Preston locked her out of the hotel room and refused to give her his car keys because, you know, they're legally his. And he just left her, stuck in the hallway.
He set an alarm. So he's going to bed, so I guess I'm sleeping in the hallway.
Love that for her. This is super normal couple energy. People on Reddit were like, oh, they're catering to like BDSM fetishists and like maybe they're just doing this for the saga so more people will donate. But like, I don't know, you guys, this is very triggering. C was genuinely trying to handle this breakup rationally, you know? Like the adult that she now is. She wanted to split finances, change her passwords, sort out all their payment apps. This was the whole mutual offboarding deal, except there was one major problem. She had nowhere else to go.
Told him we could do it peacefully. Change my info and everything. All my payment apps. Change my bank account. But I have nowhere to go. And the only family I could go to is they're hospitalized.
So this was less of like a calm separation and more like an existential housing crisis that was live streamed. Then she started spilling. She dropped a horrifying story on stream. She shared that Preston once brake checked her on purpose while she was in the passenger's seat. You know, of the car that she technically bought, and her head slammed into the dashboard. And he laughed about it and called it a punishment.
You ever been slammed into a dashboard? Brake check was funny. And it was an accident. It's called punishment.
This is one of those lines, I don't know, it just makes your entire soul eject from your body. She also talked about, oh, you know, Preston does still have his, like, claws in some of my accounts. And let's do some mental gymnastics here because the only way she could regain control was by following every single rule that he made up for her before finally kicking him off.
I did lose access to the account, and then I regained access to the account after I abided by every rule that I had to follow in order to regain access to it. Then I kicked him off of it.
This to me is screaming the beast of digital Stockholm syndrome. I mean, even when this whole like Hotel Saga was taking place when she was locked out, you know, maybe you were hoping she was exaggerating. But no, when she was in this situation and live streaming, she said this.
I don't want to go back in there and get hurt.
This pretty much sums up everything. It actually got so bad at the hotel that an employee literally pulled her aside and gave her the advice of someone who has seen way too many Lifetime movies play out in real life. Their advice was brutal and absolutely iconic. Don't waste your life on someone who hurt you. One day you'll realize you threw away these precious years. And if someone ever hits you, that's not love. They won't change.
When you're done doing whatever you're doing, can you help help me unlock the door to my room? Okay, thank you.
You don't have a key?
I don't know. I was closed out of the room and I don't have the key. Ooh, my flower. Come back. I don't need an extra key. I just need to be let back in. Because he already has the keys. Woo-hoo. Yeah, him and
Life is too short to be with anybody that's going to mistreat you, because I promise you, when you get older and you get to be my age, you're going to look back and you'd wish you hadn't wasted one day on somebody that's not going to be good to you, okay?
Oh, I got hurt all that.
I know it's hard because I've been through it, but
I'm cool with it. I gotta do it.
you have to.
I know.
You have
Everybody's
to.
telling me.
You have to. There's too many people in this world that would be good to you. And anybody that hits on you, they don't love you, baby. And it won't
And of
change.
course, like throughout all she's going through, she did not quite absorb this on the first try. And it's honestly devastating to like watch this float right past her. This is some random hotel staff that doesn't even know her who's stopping her to say, hey, this is going to wreck you later, psychologically. Get out now. You could kind of tell like it hit her, but she was at this point too tangled up to leave. This wasn't even a pep talk either. They straight up offered her another room.
If you need anything or you have any, all you gotta do is yell.
I yell so much. I don't know if y'all hear me.
They do. So, all you gotta do is call that front desk and I can have it all stopped.
Which is honestly like shows us kind of the psychology of what it's like being in a relationship like this. Like a stranger is offering you kindness and yet you're going back to the abuse. And it's honestly hard to watch knowing that like she didn't take it. So she went back in the hotel room and she was still alive. And you might be wondering like, why is she recording all of this? Like, I'm thinking maybe it was like to document what would happen. Like if you're live streaming, less bad things might happen. Once the door closed, Preston started like grilling her about who was she talking to, you know, what was she telling them? Total manipulator move, flipping the script so that she's the guilty one for opening up to someone. And she apologizes to him multiple times because this is what happens when someone has your mind on a leash for too long. It even turned into an argument about whether she was unstable and needed sleep.
You've been up for what, 5 hours?
No, I've been up ever since fucking, I don't know, 6 p.m. and it's almost been 12 hours.
Alright, so
It's fucking bedtime. You need to sleep.
it's bedtime for you. Go to bed.
Okay, well, hey, you're fucking not okay right now. You know?
I am not unstable. I am fine right now.
That's right. Even going to bed was a control issue. This whole time, Preston thought that she had muted the live for him, and once he found out it wasn't, he lost it. He snapped at her and said that she wasn't allowed to sit in his car anymore, even though, I'm sorry, she paid for it with her donations. Iconic, see, you know, reminding him of who actually, bought the car. And the saddest line of all is when she admitted she was going live for her own safety.
I go live for my own safety.
Kelly, you're not unsafe.
You told me that I wasn't, that it was gonna be really bad whenever I got here. I went live so that I'd be safe.
Kelly, you're not fucking unsafe.
You told me that I was gonna.
I didn't tell you shit.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Stop lying.
I'm not lying.
He denied it, and she sounded so broken. That's literally the only reason you and I are talking about this right now, or anyone saw this, because she thought going live would keep her safe. Eventually, someone knocked on their hotel room again because viewers had been blowing up calling the hotel because they were worried she was in danger.
Oh my god. Wonder what that could be. I'm gonna stay on live the whole time. What? Uh-oh. I don't know. Should I mute? I don't know.
Hi.
Hi.
Come here. Come out here.
Just me?
Mm-hmm. Are you okay?
Huh?
Somebody just told me that you were streaming and that you
Streaming?
needed streaming live.
Streaming? Yeah.
And needed to get out of there.
Oh, no, I don't need to get out of here at the moment.
Okay, so we're going to have to do something about this because people are calling the front desk repeatedly.
Yeah, I know.
You're okay. Are you streaming live, talking about you need help and repeatedly?
I don't think... I know a lot of people are concerned for me. I have plans on leaving when he sleeps. I have a place to go. I have to Uber myself there. Here's my car. Get all my stuff and, get out.
If you need to get your stuff right now, we can get your stuff and you can come up front until you do whatever.
I just don't think I can do that today because I can't stay with them today. I have to wait until I have to talk to my boss about it. Because she wouldn't be expecting that. She'd be like, what? I don't know what to do. And I'm like, oh.
Okay, so do you need out of there now?
He's not harming me. I don't need out of there at this moment. No, he's...
So yeah, even with a literal exit handed to her, she stayed. This is the ultimate horror because you see all these exits, you got the staff, the viewers, her own little defiances. And she still couldn't leave, and that is how people like Preston win. She insisted that she was fine and said, I'm gonna wait till he's asleep to leave. C even brought up, she was like, hey, didn't you tell me the other night that you never even loved me? And his response was ice cold.
Now, if the police show up, I don't know what you're gonna do, but you're gonna show.
Well, I guess just prepare yourself.
And now Preston is worried about the cops showing up, so what does he tell her? He says, keep your mouth shut if the cops come. Then while he's asleep, she starts joking on live about getting her ass whooped. Then she starts talking about something that, quite frankly, turns your stomach. She talks about how small she is. She's like, I'm 80 pounds, I'm 4'10", 4'11". I could easily be thrown at a wall.
4'10" or 4'11". Do you know how easy it is to throw me out of the wall?
It's devastating the way she just says it so matter-of-fact like. It was weird like the way she said it. It was like half joking, half trying to warn people. But you kind of knew here, she's kind of telling us how breakable she is. Things get tense all over again because at this point she didn't know that like Preston could hear her. You can see her brain like short-circuiting where she tries to cover her tracks.
No. What am I talking about? What? I said, do you know how easy it would be to throw me at the wall because of how much I weighed? I'm not talking about you, bro. I'm not talking about you, bro. Yeah, right now I'm muted. What? I need to watch out.
And Preston, who was used to controlling everything, didn't quite realize there were thousands of people listening to him on stream. But, surprise, even with the cops involved, this breakup didn't last long. Just a few days later, and some of us understand this too well, they were back together like nothing had happened. Which is extremely depressing, but also not shocking because, trauma bonds are one hell of a drug. But I mean, if we're gonna just do a little side note and talk about Preston for a little bit, this man has more skeletons, I'm telling you, than like a Spirit Halloween. Some of the worst of it comes from our friends over at Reddit, where they uncovered some of the most disturbing things you definitely will hear in this video. One woman shared, hey, so I met Preston when I was 14 and he was 18. She actually posted selfies for proof. I mean, it started out like any normal relationship or teen chatter, music. What music do you like? It did transition to him asking for no filter pics, feet pics, and some more explicit stuff. He love bombed, guilt tripped, and wore her down. And she was a kid. Eventually, she built up the courage to tell a school cop, and apparently they told her that she could get in trouble for sending these explicit pictures. Her mom almost pressed charges on Preston, but dropped it because she was afraid it would boomerang back. So Preston just walked, and even worse, C knows. Someone pushed C on live about these other girls, and C said, oh, no, I knew about that.
From what I know and what I've seen and what I've dealt with as a person.
You just straight up say there's other people came out as victims. Straight up say.
I understand.
Can you say it?
Huh?
Can you just say it?
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Other people have come out and claimed not. Other people have come out and said that they are victims of testing. Other people have. They have, and I have seen it. And it makes me sick to my stomach. They have
screenshots and everything.
And I want to be in disbelief about it.
Preston's brother even posted onto the Reddit a 40-minute phone call he had with Preston. The phones, the donations, everything. It's painfully, awkward. But the thing is, this is slightly more damning than random internet gossip.
Me about blocking her, right? Just a couple months ago. How, you lied to me, right?
I mean, probably. We both did. It's not just me.
What? I just don't understand, why you feel the need to have to talk to a 17-year-old girl, Preston. I read the whole Reddit thread. Apparently you guys went on a vacation and she had $21,000 on her card, and now she has $3,000. I basically need you to tell me, what have you done with this girl? Have you had sex with this girl?
No.
Is that a lie?
I'm not going to explain any information that does not need to be said, over the phone call, because it is my life, and,
Preston, you realize that's illegal. That's a felony, right? You realize there's people trying to get police involved on Reddit and all this stuff?
I know you know what's going on. It's been going on for months.
Why do you keep involving yourself in this, Preston? It's not okay.
So, Preston's accountability of but it's my life. Zero accountability. Meanwhile, if you go back and look at C's lives, we have Preston literally in the background asking her to push her GoFundMe harder. She later admitted that if she didn't, he would get mad. After all of this hotel drama is definitely not the correct word, C's old boss actually let her stay in an Airbnb for free under one condition. No Preston. Cut to C going live at this Airbnb, and that's so funny. I'm not an internet detective, but there's an interesting noise in the background that sounds suspiciously like Preston's car.
Yeah, I'm supposed to stay for 2 nights. You hear a car. I think you hear a fan.
Yeah, that fan you heard in the background is named Honda. It sounds exactly like the car. The breakup didn't last a day. Fast forward to February, and C is still going live constantly, although some people are hypothesizing about how coherent we are. I don't want to accuse anyone, I'm not like her, allegedly, but she did take a drug test to prove otherwise. She tested clean for hard stuff, positive for weed, which, But interestingly, she didn't go over the benzos part. Another time, at this point, I feel we're just like rage baiting. Like, what's the next chapter I can do to make this like TV show even more interesting? She flashed a pregnancy test on live with like a little marker clearly showing 2 strips, which is like, hey, I'm pregnant.
I also often take pregnancy tests, and I held up a pregnancy test where I drew an extra pink line on it to make it look like I was pregnant. Casually.
But people do pregnancy pranks all the time. And it was kind of like shock content. I didn't expect anyone to really see the 2 lines. I just thought it was like, it was just a little funny thing to put in my video and have people be like, oh my god, she just so casually showed that she had 2 lines on her pregnancy test.
Which was like, to be funny or a way to make money, I don't know. I mean, honestly, all we can do is hope for the best for her. Because, I mean, like, even a little bit more recently, somebody filmed a video of her at Starbucks in which she was out of it. Which I can't say, like, what that was related to. However, I can say people in, like, certain types of relationships are more likely to turn to certain substances. It's a way to numb out this emotional pain and cope with the trauma that you're currently going through. I'm not saying that's what's going on with C because, she had her own explanation for this Starbucks incident. And honestly, it does, like, suck to be a creator and having people record you in these most personal, like, moments. These days on TikTok, her whole personality is kind of like, hey, I'm broke and about to be homeless. Will you please Venmo me? She frames it as like, hey, I am 1 day from being evicted. I need this money. And then like somehow magically rent gets paid and she bought a bunch of makeup from CVS. So, I mean, this is to be continued. I kind of wanted to give you guys like a breakdown so that anyone who's never heard of her before can have like an origin story. But this barely scratches the surface because there is always more going on. People on Reddit are sus because she keeps getting caught in these little lies. She keeps contradicting herself. And of course, Lily goes live every day, which just gives us more and more to feed off of. And the saga, of course, gets messier by the day. So make sure to like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, comment for part 2. Let me know if you want one. Comment below a cat emoji to let me know if you have ventured your way this far in the video. Cool. Catch you in the next one. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching.